Hello, Joe Hart here. Person with disabilities, primarily invisible disabilities. I'm, as recently usual, I'm streaming from two different streams. I'm streaming from over here, which y'all can't see me pointing at. Over here is my laptop on StreamYard, and over here is my iPad to Twitter. I've been doing different things with StreamYard. I'm expanding. I'm learning more things. So I've expanded a couple more destinations or platforms. So I'm still testing, trying to learn how to use those stuff, which I'm always doing. So be survivor, Joe. How are you? Yeah, it's thank you for the response. Thank you very much. Anyway, it seems like things are coming along, and I'm trying to get more focused, and I'm trying to get shorter. I don't, I'm good. I've missed you. Yeah, I've missed you tremendously. I'm glad. The reason you haven't been here, I'm glad that event happened. I mean, that is so effing cool. So I'm glad I'm glad. You love the background. Don't you love that there's no vacuum cleaner? That effing vacuum cleaner. No, thank you. I shouldn't be laughing. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Were you trying to be funny, or were you being serious? I think you're being serious, but that was very funny. That made me laugh. So, no vacuum. No vacuum. There's beautiful lights. Thanks. It's still evolving. The last couple of days it's been different every night, but it's still evolving. I'm logical. I'm OCD. I'm logical. I'm not creative. So it's that bugs me because it's not in a square and a rectangle and all that stuff. But it's evolving. So thank you very much. It's hard to get Christmas lights in March, and everybody told me that, and I was like, nah, there'll be Christmas lights. So anyway, so yeah, I'm trying to do more focused streams and more concise streams. And concise, isn't a word that pertains to anything in my life. But I'm hoping, depending, I don't think I'm to the point yet to do 20-minute conversations and 40-minute conversations, but I hope to have very pointed conversations I got to bring out and do. And then I hope the other stuff is an hour 15 minutes, hour 30 minutes, maybe, that kind of stuff. I want the 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour to go by the wayside, except for races, except for by the way, that was a typo. I said Monday through Friday, and then I said Monday through Thursday later. So yeah, that was a typo. I do love the lights. They look great. Well, thank you very much. So yeah, Monday through Thursday is the days that I would do earlier stuff. And then Friday through Sunday is all dependent on the motorsports. So, now, anyway, the evolving format for the weekdays is still evolving, of course, but Monday I went live with the hashtag This Week in Motorsports, and that's been my hashtag, and it's my trademark and service mark and all that stuff. And I've been doing it for 8, 10, 12 years. So that was going to be Monday, but that was that was in the description, but I never once talked about it. I was talking about results of the 5 races on Sunday. And then I don't usually, I'm sure I'll grow to love being involved with, I've never cared about Victory Lane or Victory, whatever the other thing is called, Victory Lane and Victory. Anyway, victory circle. So yeah, I've never cared about that stuff. And 10 minutes after a race, I almost forget who won because I'm moving on to the next week. I'm moving on to the next entry list and blah, 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 blah. I have my system. So anyway, it appears that it's going to. And so anyway, I talked for an hour and 20 minutes, never once got to this week in motorsports. So I'm guessing Monday will most likely be results and points/standings. And I love points/standings. It's numbers. I'm a number guy, and it's logical, and who's in front of who, and who jumped 3 positions because they did so well. That kind of stuff. I love that. So that's probably what Monday will be. I'm hoping that ultimately Tuesday. Well, no, golly, Tuesdays. Anyway, I don't usually do too much on Tuesday, or at least high, brain power. That's evolving. I try to have a light day on Tuesday because I have other commitments every Tuesday. And so I can't multitask very well. So anyway, if I didn't have that commitment, which I will the rest of my life, most likely, I would want to do This Week in Motorsports on Tuesday, because that's kind of a good, the previous weekend is completely done because you have Monday. NASCAR actually does penalties on Tuesday, or they used to. I think they still do. I guess, it's been a while, or, the season was over. So that's why we haven't heard about many penalties. But Tuesday is usually when they do penalties, Tuesday afternoon, that kind of stuff. So This Week in Motorsports would be cool to do on Tuesdays. Wednesday and Thursday is still evolving, probably an overview or, daily news or that kind of stuff for motorsports and stuff. And then, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is just whatever the schedule is for the, and it depends on the series. NASCAR in previous years were not doing practices, qualifications, or anyway, they were almost never doing practices, and they're kind of sort of sometimes doing qualifications. And then of course they always did the race. But I think just, Phoenix is this weekend and COTA is next weekend, Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, who I love. And I've been there 3 times last year. And so it's weird covering these events when I'm not there. Last weekend was St. Petersburg for IndyCar. I've been there several times. Plus, they've given me a booth for invisible disabilities, that's pretty rare, and I don't want to go through numbers and stuff, but maybe 12 races I've gotten a booth. So it's not many places. So that, so it's really special. Some places are really special. COTA is special to me. So I'm like, I want to cover it there, not online. But, anyway, I'll keep doing my stuff. But as y'all probably know, there's been the thing that is taking up way too much time of my life, and I'd prefer it wasn't, is Chase Elliott and his current situation and the other aspects of Chase Elliott. You may or may not know Chase. Sorry. Let me hide that. So you may or may not know Chase Elliott was snowboarding on Friday in Colorado, and he broke his leg. And so he was out Sunday. He was not in the race Sunday. And Josh Berry took his set in for him because he couldn't do the race. And then as we're getting more and more information, it appears that he's going to be out for 6 weeks, 6 weeks minimum, because they don't know, physical therapy and all that stuff. You just don't know. Some people do really well and some people don't. And it's a moving target. So anyway, he let me get back out here. So he did anyway, I've done a couple of things, and I'm like, enough with Chase. Chase Elliott is not my most favorite. Oh dang, 6 weeks. Yeah, that and that's minimum. So yeah, it's pretty serious. So I'm not a big fan. The big major disclaimer, of course, is I'm not a big fan of Chase Elliott. And the big, white elephant in the living room of disclaimers, I'm not a big fan of Rick Hendrick. And probably for the same reason for both of them, is that they're so extremely well liked. Chase Elliott is, I forget the exact title, NASCAR's favorite driver, I think, is the formal title. And Chase Elliott is 24, I think, years old. So Chase Elliott, and then Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Dale Earnhardt Sr., and Bill Elliott. That's 2 sets of fathers and 2 sets of sons. Those 4 have held NASCAR's favorite driver for, it's a ton of years. I guess I'm going to sometime research that so I can quote the exact years. But it's been like 32 years. It's been those 4 forever. And I'm just, it's like, come on, can't we pick another one? So anyway, he's super well liked. And he's, there's other things. And Rick Hendrick, supposedly, when you work for Rick Hendrick, it's not a job, it's a family, everybody's family. And when you start working for him, you never quit. Oh, I didn't realize Chase was so young. Yeah, I'm 95% sure he's 24. So yeah, he's I don't know the years, but I'm guessing he's been in the Top Series, NASCAR Cup Series, I think, for like 7 years. So he's been around forever, considering how young he is. That's probably a little too long. I don't think he started when he was 17. But anyway, he's been in the Top Series for like 5 or 6 years, a significant amount. And there was something else I was going to say about his youngness, but I'm going to get a drink here. Sorry. So yeah, he is on the younger side for sure. So I'm going to go through a couple of things here. I think I do have, I was going to say they're in no particular order, but I think they are. So let me see here. So I'm going to present and then share screen and share screen. And this is partners at Hendrick. So I don't mean to bash Hendrick, and I don't mean to bash Chase Elliott, but I think it's it's been very volatile on Twitter and all the others, but Twitter's the biggest. But like Dale Jr. is, he does his downloads, Dale Jr. download, and Kyle Petty does his talks and stuff. So most everybody's talking about it. And within 3 hours of finding out that he broke his leg, Bob Pockrass, who is great, was interviewing drivers that were also owners and saying, hey, do you restrict your drivers from, doing potentially dangerous things like parachuting or, snowboarding or skiing or, whatever list you, and it was interesting, he asked, I'm blanking out now, but Denny Hamlin and Brad Keselowski, and then himself, Dale Jr. owns, not himself, Dale Jr. owns the teams also. So it was interesting because really, without an exception, every one of them said, no, they have to live their life. They have to, we can't live in bubble. Oh, Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch was the other owner. These were all drivers, but they also owned. And Kyle Busch says, we can't live in bubble wrap. You can't do that. That's not what we're going to do. So anyway, it's, and there's people are very, I don't know adamant. I think that's rather than passionate. I think people are very adamant about which position they take. There are some saying absolutely drivers have every right to parachute and hurt themselves all they want. That's their right. And then others are like, no, when you make $25 million a year, no one makes that much. I mean, not from the team. With the sponsors and everything, it might get to that amount. But, we pay you $10 million a year and we expect you to be in the car every weekend. So you cannot parachute. So there has been in the past contracts like that. Rick Hendrick, actually, he had a driver, Casey Kane, a beautiful boy. Casey Kane, he raced, 10, 12, 15 years ago. And he was racing, sprint car, the winged things. He's an owner of one of those teams, but he also races it. And he wrecked and got injured. And Rick Hendrick said, no more. No one's going to do anything else. You can't do anything else. And he shut it all down. And then 4 years ago or 3 years ago or 2 years ago, he, Kyle Larson, who I think is the best Hendrick driver, he got into trouble. He said the N-word and he was fired immediately. And a lot of people thought he would never come back to NASCAR. But Rick Hendrick is so phenomenal and everybody loves him that he was able to bring him back. So he brought him back. And Kyle Larson, even though he had his tail between his legs, he still said, I race every night of the week. I'm in all these series. And, Rick was like, okay, well, so, and he was, he's like hesitant, but he agreed. So anyway, it ends up now, the 4 current drivers, all of them are doing other stuff. William Byron is racing in other series. Alex Bowman racing in other series. Chase Elliott doing a lot of snowboarding and breaking his leg. And, Kyle Larson races all the frickin' time. So anyway, it's now he's gone, a full 180, and he embraces it. Now, with this, he might re-examine it, but we don't know. So anyway, for press release, I've never been on Hendrick Motorsports website. And that's what that sharing is right there. And I'm going to get on it and I'm going to show a couple things. But prior to a couple of days ago, I've never been on their website. Maybe 12 years ago or 8 years ago for 2 minutes, but I don't recall it. For press releases, I like to get press releases from the press. It's also a good idea to get press releases from the source that's, issuing. So anyway, because this Chase Elliott thing, I started going to Hendrick Motorsports. Anyway, I'm just putting as a disclaimer, I don't go to their website, so I don't really know what's the scoop. I did happen to go there today and looked up their part. I'll refresh it. I'll show you that so this is their website currently, and it shows. Anyway, let me go off screen. So let me do full screen. So I'm going to miss your comments and people coming and going. I apologize for that, but let me go off screen. So anyway, this is Hendrick Motorsports and the 4. 5, Kyle Larson, 9, Chase Elliott normally, but Josh Berry and Jordan Taylor for the next 6 weeks. William Byron just won Sunday, 24, and Alex Bowman. So that's their 4 cars. And this says partners overview, primary partners, associate partners. Now, the next thing I'm going to read, or 2 things I'm going to read later, it's going to show that they were referring to, anyway, so, okay, here, let me refresh it. I'm going to hit the thing up top and it's going to be refreshed. So this is brand new right now. I just refreshed it. I didn't see anything change, but I assume it's a refresh. Anyway, as we scroll down here, so let me, some of Chase Elliott's sponsors are supposed to, and I'm going to go over this page later, but I'm just looking at it so I don't forget. So Chase Elliott's sponsors for 2023 are NapaAutoParts for 24 races, Hooters for 3 races, Lumar, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's LL, and then Lumar 2 races, UniFirst 3 races, and Kelley Blue Book 2 races. Anyway, Napa Auto Parts was last weekend, one of the 24 races, and Kelley Blue Book is this coming weekend for 2 races. Anyway, they just added it. An hour ago, Kelley Blue Book was not on this website. Okay, my bad. So let me see Lumar and what was the other one? Okay, so Ally, Exalto, Chevrolet, HendrickCars.com. Hooters is one of his 6. And then Kelley Blue Book and Liberty, not Liberty, Lumar and Napa. These weren't here. I swear to God, they weren't here in UniFirst. So 1, 2, I guess all 6 are here. I swear I just checked. So let me see. Napa, Hooters, Lumar. Okay. Okay. So that was useless. Sorry about that. And again, I didn't want to. I wonder, and I mean, I can only. I mean, no one had, there's no reason for anybody to believe me. And I am disabled, so I might click on something. Anyway, I'm going to head out of Twitter here. This I'm doing it just, every time. But anyway, sorry, guys. Let me finish up Twitter here. So see you later. So, yeah, okay, that's that. So, yeah, no one should believe me, but I did just check. I just loaded this about an hour ago. Anyway, I'm wrong. For some reason, Kelley Blue Book and Napa was not on there. Now, it may have been taken off for a particular reason, and it may have been put back as a particular reason. They may be, we have no idea what's happening behind closed doors, But anyway, golly, that's too bad. I mean, not too bad. I'm glad. I am not trying to remove from stream. So, okay. So, stop screen, present, share screen. And then, so this is the sponsors, jski.com. Okay, so that's JSki. I'm going to go off screen for you all, and then off screen for me so I can read it all. And this is a separate website. It's jski.com. He used to be really good at this 5-10 years ago, and then it kind of, he sold to ESPN and made a lot of money, and then they hired him back because they couldn't do it as well as him. But he's, it's a big deal now. So he's not, and plus he has staff. I don't know the exact details, but I think it's 2 or 3 or 4 people. So he has, but anyway, I wouldn't say this is the Bible. I wouldn't say this is exactly perfectly current, but it does have that he broke his leg. So anyway, so let me go there. And I was, golly, people, I'm so sorry that wasn't, so, okay, full screen layout. So I'm not on your screen, but I am. So now I'm going to go off screen for me too. So, okay, at the top, you can probably see it says number 9, Hendrick Motorsports Chevy. And then it says driver, sponsor or sponsors, crew chief, engine supplier. So the driver is Chase Elliott. He has a contract through 2027. He was the 2020 champion, and Josh Berry and Jordan Taylor just was recently added as the driver sitting in for him. Sponsors we'll go over in a minute. Crew chief, Alex Augustusson. That's Chase's crew chief. He's much older, but he's worked with, I think, everybody. I think he's worked with Jeff Gordon, Dale Jr., Chase Elliott. He's done quite a few. And then the engine supplier comes from themselves, Hendrick Motorsports. So, okay, back to the sponsor or sponsors. So let me I guess I'm feeling I guess I'm a little flustered. So I'm a little off kilter. I've been reading a lot. I've been there's a excuse me. There's a couple people that send me links and videos and all sorts of stuff. So I'm getting a lot of information and I'm doing my own research. And there's a bunch of people talking about this. Dale Jr., Kyle Petty, and but all I've seen is they talk about Chase Elliott is not driving. He's not driving his car. He's out. He's not going to earn points. He may not make money. And most of the comments are about the driver, which is part of it. But what I usually look at, or what I look at for this situation is, and I prioritize them like three. I think the most important entity in his situation is the sponsors. The second most important, and this is weird for me to say, but the second most important is the fans. And the third most important, I think, is the owner. And Dale Jr. generally, I really like Dale Jr. I don't want to, point him out or call him out or anything, but I really like him. He's really smart. He understands. Sorry about that. He understands marketing, and he's a car owner for other series, for Xfinity and stuff. So he normally is talking about sponsors and owners and fans, and he's politically correct. He usually covers everything. Now, the show I saw him on, he was on, Dale Jr. Download. He does, I don't know the exact details, but I think it's on Peacock 3 times a week. So I think he does 3 downloads a week, which is a lot. That's an hour. That's a lot. So the one I saw, it was 14 minutes 17 seconds, and it was about this topic, Chase getting injured and how to affect him, and should there be a clause of you can't do dangerous sports. So anyway, I was kind of blown away by Dale's perspective. Again, he never, in this video, I haven't seen everything Dale has tweeted and talked about and videoed, but this was the topic, and he shared it. He shared, so I would say this is his perspective on this topic. So anyway, he did not mention sponsors at all. Really, really strange. He did not mention fans at all. Really, really strange. And he mentioned owners once. Pretty strange. So that's why I was going to go through this of why is no one talking about sponsors? Why is no one going? And I'm extreme, and like Denny Hamlin got injured and he was out for a while, and Kyle Busch, he was injured and he was out for a while, and then he got the waiver. Most people that get injured, whether they get injured in a car or something that's not related to motorsports, if they get injured, they usually get the waiver, and they can still have a chance to be in the playoffs, even though they end up not racing. It's generally required to race, to be in all 36 points races to be in the playoffs. But every person that has ever got injured has gotten the waiver. So it's a rule that they don't, it's not enforced. So, which I agree with. I for sure, I think they ought to get the waiver. But I think that there ought to be a contract that says, you cannot do parachuting and whatever else. I mean, everybody's got to make their own list, but I think it's okay to make a list. Does it include snowboarding? Does it include skiing? Snow skiing? Does it include water skiing? I don't, everybody makes their own different lists, and it seems like I've yet to hear someone says, yes, that is in my contract. I can't do that stuff. But 10 or 15 or 20 years ago, that was a pretty common topic of, the owner and driver do get together and they do discuss that, and they do sign a piece of paper that limit what they can do. So I think it's gone full circle in the opposite direction. So anyway, that's the reason I'm talking about sponsors. I think, when sponsors pay, and it's not the way it used to be. It used to be, Lowe's for Jimmy Johnson would pay $30 million for 36. They one sponsor for the entire year. They didn't have to get second and third and fourth and fifth sponsor. It was just one. So Lowe's would pay $30 million for 36 races. That's a lot of money. So they kind of have a say in what's going on. And I bet Lowe's restricted Jimmy Johnson. Now, Jimmy Johnson's smart. Plus he runs and bikes and stuff, but I'm not saying other people aren't, but anyway, so, oh, golly. Any questions? I'm surprised they don't stop them from all the other extreme sports or activities. That's cool. So you're surprised they don't stop them, but you think that's cool that they don't stop them. I think both opinions are, valid. These are young up and coming drivers, and they make a lot of money, and, the owner wanted them. So the owner pays them money and they go, hey, I'm going to do, snowboarding. So yeah, I'm pretty surprised, but I bet that Rick Hendrick or Hendrick Motorsports, same thing, same entity. I think he might re-examine that. Now, Kyle Larson, for some reason, is the exception. And even though he said the N-word and he was not guaranteed of ever being back in NASCAR, he quite confidently said to Rick Hendrick, I race 5 days a week. I race all the time. See you Friday, or see you Saturday, and so, I hate to say he's the exception, but he's the exception. So, right. I would expect them too. I don't know why I expect that, LOL, but I do. So I think that's cool that they still let them live a fun side life if they choose. Yeah. That's, and again, like I said, I don't know when you came in, I think you heard this in that, within a half an hour after we all discovered that he's broke his leg, within a half an hour, Bob Pockrass had a microphone in a driver's face. He was interviewing drivers that were also owners. He interviewed Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin. Those are active drivers. They are still actively driving, but they also own a team. And so Bob Pockrass said, do you limit your drivers? Is there a clause in your contract on, and Kyle Busch was like, no way. You can't be wrapped up in bubble wrap all of the time. No, you do your stuff. And Brad agreed too, but Brad's a little anal and uptight and stuff. So in a good way, I love Brad. So, like me, I'm anal and uptight. So, Brad said, there is no clause, no nothing. No, of course they can live their life as they wish. And for everybody, and he said, not just drivers, but everybody, the crew chief and the transporter driver, and everybody at their company, they say, we would, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was something along the lines of, we hope and expect you to be smart and safe and making smart decisions and that kind of stuff. So I don't know if they go, could you be a little more specific? I don't know if they had to ask that. But he might say, well, parachuting without a parachute. Don't do that. Don't parachute without a parachute. Have your parachute with you. So, or whatever. So, it was wild that the owners, these are current drivers, but owners, and yet all of them like blah, 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 blah. So, and then, Kyle Petty talks, which There is nothing that Kyle Petty has ever done in this sport that has anything remotely to do with motorsports these days. Nothing. He's been around forever. He knows a fair amount. He's met everybody, and he's got a great, he sells. He's good stuff to talk to, and talk with and stuff. But there is nothing in his experience of life that has anything to do with motorsports now. He's like, yeah, my father, Richard Petty, we would always play football. Yeah, bring the parachute. Yeah, for sure. Are you the one who was cheering on Travis Pastrana? I think that was you, but someone was cheering on Travis Pastrana a couple of weeks ago. Travis jumped out of a plane without a parachute. So it planned. He planned to jump out of the airplane without a parachute, and he did it. So what does an owner do with that? But anyway, yeah, I think when you walk up to Travis Pastrana and you're talking to him, you know what he's about. Me, love Travis. Yeah. So anyway, he planned to not use a parachute, and he did not use it. So anyway, so that that's me, love Travis. Amen. He's a rock star. So anyway, it's I just wanted to bring some awareness to sponsors. I think they have a right. I think they have a right to tell the drivers what to do. They give them a lot of money, and I think they can. I think they can restrict that. I don't know what I mean. I don't want to say that they can't do skiing or snowboarding, but I would say that's pretty close to should be on the list. But I just want to say they have the right. And I'm blown away that Dale Jr. did not even mention those three things. Dale Jr. is very smart. And Dale Jr. always thinks from the owner's perspective. And I can't believe it. He always talks about the sponsor, fans, and owners. And he mentioned, like I said, he mentioned the owner once, and he never mentioned sponsors in this 14-minute, 17-second. We're not going to watch it, but I think I was going to try to learn how to. I think I've seen some streamers say, I'm not going to show it, but here's the link. And they would share the link. I have to figure it out if I know how to do that. But I'd love people to see it, but I haven't. Anyway, I'm still evolving. So, okay, so let me get back to J-Ski, and I'm going to just try to read it as quickly as possible, but which nothing I do quickly. But yeah, I guess I wanted to give that. And I don't know if I'm making myself clear, but that's why I think sponsors are so important. NASCAR would not survive without sponsors. It would not be a sport. There would not be racing without a sponsor. Sponsors are mandatory and necessary. So anyway, okay, so let me go. So I'm going to go full screen layout. So I'm not on the screen anymore with you all, but I'm still on the screen. So let me go off screen. So now I'm not. So I can't see anything. So let's start again. Number 9, Hendrick Motorsports Chevy. We already talked about the driver, the crew chief, and the engine supplier. So I'm just going to go through the sponsor column and then all that small writing at the bottom. Again, I wouldn't say this is immaculately perfect, but it's probably pretty good. But anyway, so his sponsors are NapaAutoParts, 24 races, the Clash and All-Star in 2022. And NapaAutoParts was the sponsor last Sunday, the first race that Chase Elliott was out. Hooters, 3 races, that ends in 2024. Lumar, I think you pronounced 2 races, that ends in 2023. UniFirst, 3 races, that ends in 2028. And Kelley Blue Book, 2 races, that ends in 2024. Kelley Blue Book is the sponsor for this coming weekend, which I think those are all real critical. And then Universe, which we'll read in a couple of sentences. Universe is the sponsor. They were going to be the sponsor for Elliott at COTA. I assume they're still going to be the sponsor at COTA, even though it's going to be Jordan Taylor. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to just read all those things now. So Elliott is expected to be sidelined for 6 weeks with a broken leg, fractured tibia. Barry will continue running ovals. Jordan Taylor driving at the number 9 at COTA, 3/7/2023. And the date usually is when it's updated. It also could be the contract date, but it's usually the date that it's updated. So Josh Berry drove at Las Vegas, March, after Elliott was injured in a snowboarding accident. Universe will sponsor Elliott at COTA, Kansas, May, and Richmond, July, 2/9/2023. Kelley Blue Book will be the sponsor at Phoenix, March, which is this coming Sunday, and Texas, 1/31/2023. Napa has signed a multi-year extension to sponsor 26 races per year, 7/20/2022. And I'm going to go back on, so, they're the hugest, they're the largest, largest sponsor. So obviously they're I'm just, and nothing's gonna, it's gonna unfold over, nothing has happened yet, but I'm baffled. So, okay. So, Elliott has signed a contract extension through 2027. That is mighty nice. 2/20/2022. Universe sponsorship runs through 2028, includes 3 races in 2022 and 2023, then 5 races each year after, 2/9/2022. Hooters has signed a 3-year extension. They will sponsor 3 races in 2022. Gateway, Bristol, September. When there's a month next to a track, that's because we go twice a year. So they say which Bristol it is. So it's Bristol, September, and Las Vegas, October. 12/2/2021. Lumar will sponsor 2 races for each of the next 3 seasons, 12/16/2020. NapaAutoParts is signed through 2022. So obviously, clearly that hasn't been updated because they're sponsoring right now. So we don't know. What did it say above? Oh, okay. Napa has signed a multi-year extension. So they don't tell us how many years, but it's an extension. So let me go back. So let me come back on here, exit full screen, and then remove that from the stream and stop screen. So let me see. So SCCA, I'm going to close that MFR. That was a waste. So this is, I'm going to just skim this, but so present, share screen. And again, I'm not trying to rag on them. I think it's not okay that he can just, anyway, whatever. I'm still formulating my opinion, but I think sponsors have a huge say in this matter. So anyway, this was NASCAR. The topic is NASCAR. It's published by, let me go to the top here. It's published by Sports Not, like astronaut, but Sports Not. NASCAR is the topic, published January 5th, 2023. Chase Elliott loses notable sponsor ahead of the 2023 season. Chase Elliott has lost a notable sponsor ahead of the 2023 season. Let's take a look at the sponsor situation for Hendrick Motorsports this year. And that's about it. I mean, it's, I'm not, Chase Elliott is NASCAR's most popular driver. And due to that fact, it might seem like sponsors would be knocking on the door to get their logo on the number 9 car. However, one sponsor is playing the opposite game ahead of the 2023 season. According to multiple reports, a shock, I've never heard of this sponsor, SHOC Energy will not return to Elliott and Hendrick Motorsports for the 2023 season. The energy drink contract with the organization expired at the conclusion of the 2022 season. Shock Energy first sponsored Elliott during the 2021 season. Hendrick Motorsport will now only have Day Chaser as a drink sponsor after having several with Pepsi and Mountain Dew in the past. So, anyway, that's probably enough to cover for that. And you know, I mean, it's not the end of the world. You know, I mean, every sponsor, you know, every sponsor, there's a contract you sign and there's a starting date and an ending date. So they, you know, they might say, wow, thanks for inviting us to NASCAR. And boy, we weren't going to sign this at all. So it's pretty kind of lucky that we're giving you 2 years, but wow, you know, we weren't going to do this at all. So 2 years is phenomenal. So it could be, you know, kind of the opposite, that they did a really good thing. They gave them 2 years. So anyway, okay. So, so that was that. Let me, so I'm going to bring the, I'm going to bring the Dale thing on the screen just to show you what it looks like, and maybe you can find the link. So I'm going to stay on screen for you all, but I'm going to go off screen so I can read it. So anyway, that's Dale Jr., of course, if you don't know, but everybody knows, of course. And the topic of this video, and as you can tell from the time there, it says 14 minutes and 17 seconds. And the title of it is, Should Chase Elliott Have Been Snowboarding? And the people who publish it is, you know, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s Dirty Mo Media. And, you know, it's Dale Jr. Download. DJD is kind of what it's called. And Dirty Mo Media is the company, his company. So, anyway, it's, you know, what do we got here? That, you know, his account, Dirty Mo Media, has 324,000 subscribers. For this video, he has 2.1 thousand likes, and he had 68,000 views 22 hours ago is when he downloaded it. So, it's popular. I've already wrote a comment. But anyway, yeah, I'm not going to show it. But that's just if y'all want to, I think it's pretty cool what he says, because it's so unlike him. That's not typical him. He normally does. Well, he is a car owner in Xfinity, and also he has a relationship with Rick Hendrick. Like, some of his cars, like, entry lists are pretty interesting. Every week, each series comes out with an entry list, and it lists the owner. And Junior Motorsports has 4 cars in Xfinity, and they're owned, you know, so, you know, we all are aware that it's owned by Junior Motorsports, which is owned by Dale Jr. and Kelly Earnhardt. But most every week, 1 or 2 of those 4 cars, the owner is listed. I mean, it'll list the company like JR Motorsports, or it may list a person. And 1 or 2 of those cars, it's list Rick Hendrick. So they somehow have a relationship. I don't know what it is. I don't think he gives, you know, I don't think he has 20% ownership in Junior Motorsports or anything like that. But he is listed as, like I said, an individual person's name for 1 or 2 of those 4 cars every week, most every week. So if it lists people, there's different resources for entry lists. So when they list people, he's listed a couple of times. So anyway, they have a relationship, and Dale, but Dale usually is straight from the hip, and he doesn't hold punches, and he doesn't play favorites, and he doesn't mute his voice because Rick Hendrick owns part of his company. I'm just blown away. So anyway, let me see what else I have. I think that might have been most of it. So I have, of course, StreamYards, of course, and then YouTube for JoeH PwD's, and then YouTube for Francis Assistant, my little backup. So that's my backup channel. I haven't done let me see here. So I haven't done Nightbot. Sorry, I was off camera. So I haven't done my Nightbot yet for in a long time, but certainly not for so this is my YouTube backup channel. Please subscribe. Backup. So I'm going to post it here. I think that works. I don't know, B, if you're still around, but also with all my streams, I posted it 4 times. It was, it's posted at my Facebook page, the Joe Hart Invisible Disabilities Advocacy, and then YouTube, Francis Assistant, and YouTube, Joe Hart PwD's, and then I'll check. Hold on a second. Yeah, check any of them. Click any of them to make sure. I think it will work. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. And then Twitch. But yeah, I would hit one of the YouTubers. I guess they're all the same. It does. Ooh, cool, man. So let me quickly go off topic. What's it called? Nightbot. Nightbot. Come on. What is that? Damn it. So let me add a command. Paste. And what's it called? Francis. Francis, my little baby. Okay, so one more test. It's been a while since I've done Nightbot, so I hope so anyway, it's one of these. Anyway, let's see if this works. I do anyway, it should come up with the same thing, and then if you could click on one of those too. So there's 4 of them. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. There's Nightbot. B, could you click on that also? Because I entered that. I always get nervous about doing the wrong thing. So please subscribe to my backup. Oh man, this is some cool stuff. Yes, that works too. Yippee! Thank you. So Sorry, let me timers add. Where is it? This is your timer name. I don't know how to do this, but I get freaked out. I'm like, did I do that wrong or? Oh, okay, edit. So I can edit that later, but I just entered a timer, and you can set it from 5 minutes to whatever, however many minutes. So I set it for 5. So anyway, hopefully it'll so cool. So anyway, yes, that is my backup channel. It's I've heard that I need a backup channel just in case I get a little excitable with what I do and use vulgarity. That's their formal description. Vulgarity, which just like beauty, I'm assuming vulgarity is in the eyes of the beholder, or it's in the eyes of the viewer. So it's not if the F word offends me or I think it's vulgar, it's how other people perceive the F word and any other word that might be vulgar. So and that's not it. That's one of the, they don't tell you what you do wrong, but they tell you you broke one of their rules, and then that's one of the rules. So anyway, so let's see here. So StreamYards, YouTube, Joe Hart, YouTube Francis, Twitter. What did I do? So I wanted to show what is this? Oh, I want it to be as close to an hour as possible, but I might be a little over. I wanted to show Chase Elliott's Twitter, and that's his Twitter account. So I'm going to keep me on screen and then go off screen. And his he's a pretty humble, by the way, the driver that's driving for him in Coda has an alter ego. It's Jordan Taylor. His name is Jordan Taylor, but he's known as Rodney Sandstorm. That's his alter ego when he's driving. It's kind of cute or different or whatever. So anyway, here's Chase Elliott. It right there. It says, in all seriousness, the support I've received over the last couple of days is far greater than I deserve. I want to thank everyone who has lended it over in any. I want to thank anyone who has lended it over in any form. Let's give Josh Berry and the Napa racing team some love today. And that's his hashtag, DI9. And as you can tell, those are the replies, 794 replies, 897 retweets, 10.7 thousand likes. And then, the views is 382.9 thousand. So he's liked, as you can tell. So is that there's my Francis assistant. Yay. Okay, so that's my timing. That worked. So, and that was way less than 5 minutes, I think. So okay, so let me remove from screen. So let me just go through my tabs. I think I covered everything. So Nightbot, I had to reopen that. SCCA, that's the This Week in Motorsports. I guess I'll cover that at a different time. J-Ski, I went over the sponsors of Hendrick Motorsport number 9. Dale Earnhardt, I showed the video. I haven't quite figured out how to do. Supercars Championship Rebco is this weekend. That's what I wanted to stream about. But Supercars is a series that's in Australia, and it's pretty big, and it's opening this weekend. And Australia it ranges, I think it's from like 13 hours ahead to 17 hours ahead. So it's almost like the next day. Anyway, and then, of course, my TikTok, I'm getting a little behind on that. And then my live tweets, I'm getting behind on that. And then Francis and Joseph. Okay, so I think I've done everything. So, and it's 1 hour and 6 seconds. Anyway, I think I'm going to sign off. I wanted to I'm trying to keep them concise, on topic. I'm sorry that I got, I don't know why or how Hendrick's website did not have two of his biggest sponsors listed on their website just right before I went on this stream. About an hour ago, they were not on it. And then when I was going to show that they weren't on it, they were back on it. And like I said, they probably are negotiating behind the scenes, and, they don't know. We Hendrick's not going to give us updates on the negotiating with the sponsors at all. And I think I was surprised that they would take it off the website. That's like blah, that's broadcasting it. So anyway, I'm stumped. I don't know what happened. Anyway, as usual, I'm going to hit end broadcast twice. I'm going to count down each time. And then I'm going to check the 8 streams that I'm streaming to, or 7. One keeps not working. And then after that, so while I'm checking those, the comments are still okay. And then I would hit the leave studio after that. So anyway, to go through the, as usual, recently, I stream on 2 different things. And so right now, this is, I stream on my laptop to StreamYard, and then 8 destinations or platforms. And then I was doing my iPad to Twitter, but that's a lot quicker thing. So, all right, Joe, great stream. Thank you. I will keep an eye out for the next one. Talk to you soon. Yeah, it'll probably be daily. I really wanted to talk about supercars. So, I mean, I don't think I'll do more than one a day, but I might. I mean, plus March Madness. I'm sorry. I'm going to talk about March Madness too. So I might. So, anyway, this week in motorsports, supercars by itself, because it's so different. And then March Madness. Did I already? Yeah. So that's 3 before stuff starts happening on Friday. So I don't know how I'm going to fit those all in. So, anyway, so shout out to Facebook profile. Thank you very much. Thanks for the comments. Send me DMs and comments there or here, wherever you want. Facebook page, thank you. Same thing. You can send them anywhere. LinkedIn, same thing. I appreciate you watching. Send comments there or here. YouTube, JoeH PwD's. Thank you so much. Francis Assistant. Thank you for my second, my backup channel. Yay, Francis. Francis is back here somewhere. Twitch, still trying to figure you out, but thank you. Joe Hart, did it do the right one? Okay, yeah, Joe Hart 901 worked on Twitter, and Nask Hart Inc. did not work. So anyway, I'm still getting one at a time. So okay, that's it for there. And thank you, B, and everybody else. So yeah, thank you for watching me live in the comments, but also thank you for watching me recorded. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. So we're getting there. I'm trying to get things streamlined and blah, 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 blah. I'm trying. Okay. End broadcast in 3, 2, 1. And then I have to hit it a second time. So end broadcast